still believes the American dream. To his last breath, he'll always be a soldier.
Heard on great radio stations all across America. It's the National Defense with Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry.
The National Defense is made possible by Ford, Go Further, by the Home Depot, more saving, more doing, by ADT Security, more than just a line in the sand, by VSP. For more information on how VSP can help you with your corrective vision needs, visit their website at VSP.com. By Morgan Stanley. Discover how they can help you reach your long-term financial goals at morganstanley.com. By the Wounded Warrior Project, serving those who sacrificed for over 15 years. Find them online at woundedwarriorproject.org. By WD-40 Company. Wherever there's a job to be done, WD-40 brand offers solutions with WD-40 multi-use product and WD-40 specialist products to help you live life hands-on. And by Farmers Insurance. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Find an agent at farmers.com.
Hey, this is the National Defense, Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry. And Jerry, as always, our dedication.
Hey, this show's for you, the men and women serving in our military. It's for the millions of veterans out there, and it's for all their families. We're here for you. We love you. God bless you.
Jerry, I'm so glad about our partnership with the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yep.
Guys are doing some great work for veterans. And just another example of that, on the phone with us is James Herrera. He's the National Physical Health and Wellness Director at Wounded Warrior. James, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you guys for having me on.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, and I'm so excited, too, that Wounded Warrior is kind of dedicated to this health and wellness, because it's something that is relatively new, I think, in the veteran community in terms of an organized effort. Don't you think, Jerry? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And, like you said, Randy, it's something that is glossed over a lot of times.
Right.
But health is so important to the overall picture, because if you're not healthy, then you're depressed.
Yeah.
And then, if you have PTS or something like that, just compounds. It just snowballs.
Yeah, and James, you said you've been doing this for 4 years. So, hey, listen, credit to you guys for recognizing that and for developing that program.
Oh, thank you so much. Like you said, everything is sort of interconnected. We've seen through our both physical and mental health programs that the outcomes are really intertwined, and the physical helps the mental, and the mental helps the physical. It all sort of works together synergistically. So that's our approach, and we're sticking to it.
That's a great idea. And you're also responsible for a program called the Soldier Ride. Now, the last time we talked to somebody from the Wounded Warrior Project, he was also talking about a ride. That was a motorcycle ride. I get the impression. Now, is this a bicycle ride?
So this is a bicycle ride, yeah. Soldier Ride is an adaptive cycling event that allows warriors to ride alongside fellow injured service members and sort of reclaim their confidence and strength in a really supportive environment. Wow. And we use all different varieties of bikes to help accommodate that.
That's great.
And is it a cross-country thing, or where do you ride?
So we have our standard Soldier Ride program. We're offering it in this particular calendar year in about 40 spots around the country. They're all regional, and they're mostly co-located where Wounded Warrior Project has our offices, although we do pop into some other locations. But we bring anywhere from 30 to 50 injured service members together. They enjoy a cycling experience over the course of about 4 to 5 days. Get to have that super supportive environment in a shared challenge. Community members come out, the first responders come out. It's a pretty incredible, transformative event, and I get super excited when I talk about it.
So over those days, are there milestones that you try and reach, so many miles per day, or how many miles overall? So
we generally average about 20 miles a day. Some of our events are 2 days of riding, some are 3 days of riding. I can eventually tell you about our Soldier Ride across America, which we are going to be doing in a couple of weeks, kickstarting in New York City.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Well, the Soldier Rides themselves, James, that's not something you just jump into. I mean, you don't jump on a bike and ride 20 miles a day for three days. What leads up to that?
Well, our soldier ride is really like I said, it's an adaptive event. It's something that we call a no-drop ride, meaning we don't leave anybody behind. We go the pace of the slowest warrior, and everybody rides together. We've got police support. We've got EMT support. We ride as slow as we need to ride to cover that distance.
That's cool.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's they do essentially jump into potentially a 15 to 20 mile day from the get-go. But we take it at everyone's pace. We stop if we need to. We give people a break. We have snacks and fluids along the way. Man,
that's got to be, you talk about camaraderie. That just has to be a great event to, be with your fellow warriors and just really get to know each other and build each other up, huh?
Yeah, the bike is just a sort of secondary thing that helps to bridge that gap, but it really is the opportunity to engage in something physical when someone may have not been physically active for, a number of years after their service time. They get on a bike and they go out and they do a big day alongside their fellow warriors, and they're each cheering each other on. They're giving each other a push. There's a little bit of smack talking here and there.
Good.
But at the end of the day, they all laugh and high five and hug it out, and they're getting ready for the next day. So
I didn't know veterans smack talked.
No,
right? Yeah.
This cross country trip, is that how's that going to work? Is it going to be a relay type situation or?
Yeah, it is. So the original soldier ride started in 2004. A guy by the name of Chris Carney worked at a bar over in the Hamptons, and they were, as people do, they were smack talking at the bar, and they came up with this idea for Chris to ride across the country, raise money for Wounded Warrior Project. So he goes out and does about 5,000 miles and raises $1 million.
Wow.
And that was sort of the spawn of the soldier ride event. This year, we're celebrating 15 years as a soldier ride group within the organization. We're taking 3 teams of 12 warriors, so 36 in total. Each group will ride a third of the country. So we're covering about 3,400 miles. With each team doing about 1,100. So yeah, it is a bit of a relay. Each team will hand off to one another. And we've got 3 soldier ride teams that work for Wounded Warrior Project that will escort each of their teams through their segment of the country.
Are you riding in this thing, James?
So I am going to be acting in a supporting role. I'll be popping in to see all the teams. I will get on a bike periodically, but it really is about the warriors and their journey and their support of one another. They're the ones that have been doing the training. They've been sort of coaching and helping each other along the way because we have varying levels of cycling enthusiasts that are participating. But yeah, I'll be popping in there a little bit.
Yeah, that would be my role, a supporting role. I'll be in his.
I could do that.
I'll be in the supporting role.
Yeah, I could do that. I could drive behind him.
But now James, he told us he's been a coach in a lot of situations. What is your background, James?
Well, in my former life, I did a number of years working with USA Cycling. I went to a couple of Olympic Games as a coach with the BMX program.
Oh, wow.
So cycling's been part of my life since I could walk.
So when you deal with some of these warriors that maybe aren't ready mentally to get into this type of exercise, these type of activities, what do you tell them? What do you say to them to get them going?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a number of different programs within Wounded Warrior Project. So depending on where the individual is in their state of transition, recovery, what have you, or readiness, motivation. Sometimes that's just a good conversation about really explaining what a soldier ride is and what it can do for people, talking about the transformations that we've seen with other warriors who may have been a little apprehensive about either their physical ability or their willingness to socialize in groups and things like that. And we can sort of get them to, take that first step and help them along the way. Sometimes we need to get them into one of our mental health programs before they come out to a soldier ride. But I've seen the transformations that have occurred, over the last number of years at our events, coming out of a soldier ride, and it's nothing short of amazing. I've heard of marriages being saved, people jumping into finding themselves again in their health and wellness journey, being able to do a lot of things, and also being able to supportive of other warriors. And that's one of the most important things that we see as a result of the events.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's kind of hunkered down in the bunker and not getting out and associating with people, and it's important to move. Not only mentally, but physically. You get the serotonin going, and you just feel better overall.
100%. Our physical health and wellness team runs a slightly different program, but what we've seen is the surveys and the outcomes that we generate through that physical programming, our mental health betterment, the psychological well-being, the scores are through the roof. So again, like we talked about early on, that physical is really helping them be mentally better. It's helping them sleep better. It's helping lower stress levels. It's helping lower medications. It's improving pain. And so I can't rave enough about the benefits of physical activity on many other factors that are, facing our veterans.
Yeah, the other part of that, I think, too, Jerry, is the fact that the people that see this happening, what an inspiration.
Yeah.
I can still remember we covered the Bataan Death March run.
Yep.
And there was a group of wounded warriors there. And to see them, I mean, not just...
That's a grueling...
Yeah.
That's a grueling course.
And not just participating, but, I mean, doing phenomenal, despite their situation.
Their injuries,
Yeah, and it's just amazing. So... hey, James, where can people find out more information about the Soldier Ride?
So if they go to our website, www.woundedwarriorproject.org, we've got a whole host of information on Soldier Ride and all of our programs and services. That's the best place to go.
That's some incredible stuff that Wounded Warriors is doing. Yeah, man, that's some great stuff you're doing.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We keep going back to the drawing board and trying to figure out how we can continue to better our programs based on the needs of our veteran population, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to stay at the cutting edge and make sure we're moving the needle.
Great job. Great job, James. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with the National Defense right after this word from Farmers Insurance. When you're dealing with life's ups and downs, it helps to know the ins and outs of insurance. Farmers Insurance has been sharing practical insurance knowledge for more than 89 years. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Find an agent at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Did you know WD-40 Company has a product to get the trusted WD-40 formula into hard-to-reach places? WD-40 Easy Reach has a permanently attached 8-inch flexible straw that makes it easy to keep equipment working properly by bending around parts and getting into tight spots to lubricate and prevent rust. Pick up a can at Walmart, Home Depot, or AutoZone and learn more about this and other WD-40 brand products at WD-40.com.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Look around. There could be a big change coming this long weekend to your walls, deck, or trim. The Home Depot's got $10 off 1-gallon cans and $40 off 5-gallon buckets of interior and exterior paints and stains. Even better, a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You'll love it, or we'll make it right. A little paint goes a long way. Right now, it goes even further with Labor Day savings of up to $40 on interior and exterior paints and stains. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through September 5th via mail-in rebate. U.S. only. See store for details.
We're standing guard with the truth. The National Defense.
Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller. Time now for another Morgan Stanley Money Brief. And we have Dan Daglio from Morgan Stanley here with us again. Last time, Dan, you talked to us about how bonds work, but I feel like there's a lot more to discuss, especially how to approach investing in bonds.
Hey, Randy, that's right. I could go on forever about bonds, but today I want to offer some considerations for your listeners if they think bonds may be right for their investment plan.
Well, let's get back into it then. Who typically issues bonds, and can you give our listeners some examples?
Well, actually, there's a pretty wide range of issuers. They include for-profit corporations, think tech companies or banks. Issuers can also be municipalities like a city or a state, or governments like the U.S. or a foreign country.
So does it matter who the issuer is if I'm considering investing in bonds?
It makes a big difference, Randy. Corporate bonds, for example, typically pay higher interest rates but are less secure, while government and municipal bonds are considered quite secure but have low interest payments. I would also consider mentioning here that it matters who the issuer is as different as issuers with different credit ratings and therefore different risk profile.
So more secure bonds don't have to offer as high of an interest rate to attract investors then. So what makes government bonds more secure?
Well, governments and municipalities have an advantage over corporate issuers in that they can adjust their revenue streams easier than a company can. For example, they can raise taxes in order to increase revenues and ensure sufficient funds to pay back bondholders. People have to pay their taxes, but if a company tried to sell something by raising prices, consumers can simply stop buying the product or service, which would not increase the company's revenue.
Although I'm sure consumers wouldn't be happy about paying more taxes.
Isn't everybody happy about paying more taxes?
Right.
Hey, one more thing on taxes. There are potential tax advantages to invest in certain bonds. Generally, interest on municipal bonds is exempt from federal income tax. However, some municipal bonds may be subject to the alternative minimum tax, A.M.T. Additionally, state tax exemptions typically apply if the securities are issued within the investor's state of residence. And if applicable, local tax exemption applies too if securities are issued within one city of residence.
Yeah, well, Dan, it's good that you bring that up because the tax implications of investing aren't always top of mind, right?
Well, that's true. Of course, there are a few additional things your listeners should keep in mind, too. The tax-exempt status of municipal securities can be changed by legislation, which could affect the value and marketability of their bonds. Also, bonds escrowed to maturity may or may not be callable. And finally, credit ratings shown may be higher than the underlying rating of the issuer or the rating of an insurer providing credit enhancement to the bonds. So it's important that your listeners find out the underlying credit rating of issuers and consider it as a factor in their investment decisions. You can always ask a financial advisor for more information on underlying credit ratings of issuers.
Yeah, I was going to say some of that, went right over my head. Is it safe to say that these are all aspects that should be discussed with a financial professional?
Yes, exactly.
Good. I'm getting the hang of this. Dan, thank you so much for being here. Next week, we'll have a brand new edition of the Morgan Stanley Money Brief right here on the National Defense.
This radio program does not provide individually tailored advice. It has been prepared without regard to the individual financial circumstances, risk tolerance, and investment objectives of the persons who receive it. The strategies discussed may not be suitable for all individuals. Morgan Stanley recommends that individuals independently evaluate particular strategies and encourages them to seek the advice of a financial advisor. The appropriateness of a particular strategy will depend on individual circumstances and objectives. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in a declining financial market. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, Morgan Stanley, and its financial advisors and private wealth advisors do not provide tax legal advice. Consult your own tax legal advisor before making any tax or legal related investment decisions. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
All right, it's Ford F-150 Radio. Today we're talking how Ford, the official truck of the NFL, once again has the awesome job of recognizing the Built Ford Tough Offensive Line of the Week. Marty, go.
Hi, Mierhawk in high school, the Purple Panthers, 1989.
Say what?
Now that was an offensive line. Me, Jimmy, Dwayne, Kiko, Melvin, Mount Everest.
This is the big time, buddy. And each week, Ford F-150 salutes the NFL O-line that outperforms all the others.
But they don't have the camaraderie us guys had.
Yeah, Built Ford Tough tough NFL offensive lines of the week have camaraderie, Marty. They're finely tuned machines, like the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
I remember the big game. State semis, our QB calls out naked potato mouthwash.
Okay, listen.
A lot of people think that was the night I earned my All-Tri-County honorable mention. A lot of people.
Oops, Marty must have gone through a tunnel. Go to NFL.com and follow NFL analyst and former Pro Bowl center Sean O'Hara as he picks the Built Ford Tough offensive line of the week.
Home is not just something you can see or touch. Home is a feeling. It's the place where you feel safe to have those little moments that mean everything. At ADT, we believe that feeling should always be there. Whether it's at your house or your business, we help keep you safe so you can have those moments that make you feel at home. Wherever you are.
Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry. How many times, Jerry, through your military career, through your nonprofit career, have you heard the name Northrop Grumman?
Like 6 trillion times.
And it's funny.
Maybe more.
Because everybody in the military knows about Northrop. A lot of people outside of the military do not.
Exactly.
And they've been around for such a long time doing some great things for the military. We're going to find out all about that. We have Doc Massard. He's the lead military recruiting strategist for Northrop, is on with us. Doc, how are you?
I am fantastic, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great. Now, you've been with Northrop, 14 years?
Well, actually, I've been with the company about 10 years.
Okay.
But I've been dealing with government contractors for about 14, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Northrop. How would you describe Northrop to someone outside the military?
Well, I'd say it's an awesome company, one. So that's a little plug for the company in general.
Yeah.
But I think Northrop is one of the leading global security companies. We provide innovative systems, products, and solutions for cyber, C4SR, strike, and logistics, and in plainest English possible, right?
Thank you.
I would say that you can describe Northrop as a global security firm. So we don't, we're not going out trying to make anything crazy, but we want to make products for our men and women that are serving overseas and that are serving stateside to make them safer, be able to do their jobs easier and come on back.
Now, the company's been around like forever, hasn't it? How did it get its start?
So, I think the easiest way to even kind of transition how it started or what it could be known for globally, honestly, is based off of your geographic location is what you're going to know Northrop for. See, I grew up in Southeast Virginia, and so all I knew for the longest time was Northrop as the shipyard. So even today, a lot of my friends and family were like, "Hey, man, you still work for the shipyard?" And, it's
really?
like, well,
Yeah.
not really. But, starting off as an aerospace industry defense company, very much so in the likeness of a Lockheed or Boeing.
Right.
They acquired a number of different companies over the years, and I like to describe it how companies that started off making one product, in order to remain profitable and relevant, they kind of expand what they do. So instead of being a company that just makes microwaves, then we were the company that makes microwaves as well as build the houses that the microwaves go in and make all the processes for the microwaves and things that can be made for other tools as well. So I think that Northrop's really expanded on what we can do, but it's all in the names of global security.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I mean, they really, I think they really established themselves and made their mark in the aviation field, like back during World War II, right?
Absolutely. And of course, since I wasn't around in World War II.
Hey, either was I.
This
Easy.
is what I read, I can't speak from first-hand experience on that one, though.
Yeah, and the things that are in development right now at Northrop,
I can only imagine.
You can only imagine. I mean, some of the things that I've heard about Northrop and some of the things that they are involved in now, it would blow your mind.
Probably right out of the Jetsons, eh?
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Well, I mean, it's some pretty high-tech stuff. I've been privy to see a couple of really, really interesting programs. And a lot of stuff, obviously, for security reasons that we can't really discuss. But what I can say is one of the cooler things that we like to tell, whether it's new graduates or whether it's veterans that are transitioning, is that you can work for another company, like another tech company. I'm not going to throw any names out there, but you can work for another tech company and work on the next really cool thing, and that's awesome. But working with Northrop, first of all, you'll be working on stuff you can't even tell your kids about for kids. And then when you do get to tell them, it's like, yeah, you see that thing floating across the air? Yeah, we made that.
Yeah,
Mom
exactly.
and Dad worked on that. Like, that's cool.
So in the military, I mean, you've got so much talent in the military right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a perfect crop, if you will, of people to choose from, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think there are so many different really solid companies. I'm a big fan of just wanting our vets to be able to transition into the next phase of their career, being able to choose what they have a passion for and be able to continue their mission. So, there are a lot of really, really excellent companies out there, but I've been with Northrop as long as I have, not because it was the only firm that I felt was decent, but it was the one that I feel that spoke most to what I needed to do and the mission that I could get behind.
And what's the philosophy, if you will, when it comes to the military? I mean, aside from, hey, we make our money from defense projects and things like that. There's got to be something more, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact is that though Northrop Grumman has a history of providing both quality products and service in the defense industry, a lot of the key factors to our success include operating with integrity, high standards of accountability, employing an incredibly talented workforce, and remembering our mission, and that to assist our nation and its allies in making our world a safer place. And because of that, many veterans are super familiar not only with our products, they probably have worked beside a Northrop Grumman employee at multiple stops throughout their service career. We have a cultural ethos that's stepped in integrity, service, and mission achievement. And we're one of the many natural fits for the veteran community to continue to serve on a team with a powerful mission.
Hey, Doc, we're talking to Doc Massard, the lead military recruiting strategist for Northrop Grumman. And you guys have a program that I've heard about for veterans with disabilities. Talk about that a little bit, because it's a fantastic program, and it's something that a lot of companies don't even look at. But tell us a little bit about that, if you will.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for even mentioning it. So Operation I.M.P.A.C.T, which stands for Injured Military Pursuing Assisted Career Transition. I know it's super long, that's why we say impact. But it is a unique, award-winning diversity program within the company. It focuses on assisting severely wounded service members as they transition from the military to a private sector career. So should a service member receive a combat-related, post 9/11, combat-related injury of 30% or greater, should they be unable to work due to the severity of their injuries, we offer career support and assistance. And honestly, even if they're so affected by the injury that they can't physically perform the work, then that person's individual immediate family member who acts as a primary wage earner, we offer them the same kind of assistance.
Wow.
So that's assistance in your applying for positions, you're searching for positions. If you qualify for one of the positions that we have, we don't even have to post it externally so that you're not competing against other people. It's honestly like, hey, if this is the best fit for this person and they happen to be a wounded warrior, let's see what we can do to bring them on in. And
that's incredible.
That's stupendous.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I mean, honestly, I wish I came up with it, but I'm just really honored to be a part of the program in general. And they have some amazing people working on the staff.
We've interviewed hundreds of people through the years.
Yeah.
And related, we're big advocates for veteran employment and supporting our service members, of course. But I got to tell you, Randy, I don't think I've ever heard of a program that offers so much.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, it's a really, really special thing. And we've, worked with a number of different organizations over the years, and we've gotten, bits and pieces of things that they've done. And we really wanted to develop something that could really, it hits home, because there are a lot of our vets that they've gone out and they've put their lives on the line. They put their bodies on the line to sacrifice so much for the protection of our country. and then when they get home, find that they can't continue on in the same way that they used to. So it's up to us, especially a company that benefits so much from what the defense industry offers. It's really up to us to kind of make that landing spot for the next page a bit easier. So it's not that we're out there doing something, it's not charity, what I would say at all. What it is that we are realizing and actualizing that these people still have value, and they've had so much more to contribute, and they want to contribute so much more. And if there's a way that we can make that easily accessible, we are all about it.
Man, that's just amazing to me, Jerry. And every disabled veteran needs to know about that. It's just incredible.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I've spent my entire adult life, dealing with this kind of stuff, and this is the first I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So
isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So you guys, we need to let people know.
Right. Exactly.
Fantastic. Yes. Please,
Wow.
please. Come to our website. We have a bunch of information about that and a number of other programs that we have.
So, what's the website, Doc?
So the website for our Northrop Grumman is www.northropgrumman.com.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Well, I could remember.
Right.
I could remember that one.
I every once in a while, whenever I lose track of what the actual email or what the actual website is, I'll Google it or Bing it.
That's right.
The first thing that comes up.
Hey, Doc, you've done a great job by informing us. You're a great spokesperson.
Yeah, you really are. In common terms.
Yeah. What's your background? Quickly.
So I'm actually one of the guys who just can say it's dumb luck or fortuitous situation. I don't know how you want to really call it, but I had an Army scholarship to college years ago, and it sent me out to Missouri, middle of nowhere, Missouri.
Hey, now wait a minute. Yeah, we're based in Kansas City.
There we go. Now, see, I ended up going to Wentworth Military Institute in Lexington.
Right.
Yeah. And then I transferred to, at the time, it was Central Missouri State. Now it's the University of Central Missouri.
Right.
And so I graduated from there. But I spent a lot of time at Whiteman Air Force Base in the infirmary. I was clumsy.
I'm not going to ask any questions about that.
Kid. Big clumsy kid, and so I ended up. I wasn't able to take my commission, and I still ended up finishing college. Came back home to Virginia, and I was going to join the Navy. And I'll be honest, guys. I put on a lot of weight after I wasn't in the scholarship program anymore. And the Navy chief told me, he was like, "Hey, buddy, you got to lose some weight." And I'm like, "Chief, you're bigger than I am." And he's like, "But I'm already in." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair." And by the time I did lose the weight, I had already started working for Northrop. And honestly, this is not a pitch, but this is the God's honest truth, is that while I was working for Northrop, and I registered, I signed up for the National Guard, and I got my designation as a cavalry scout. Northrop was 100% on board with, hey, go ahead, take the time that you need to. If you got to go to camp again, if you need to get deployed, we have your job. You're set. You're safe with us. Go ahead and serve your country how you feel you need to.
Wow.
And that was really, really a load off. Because I got a family and wanted to make sure that they were going to be taken care of when I got back. And, and the way things turned out, I ended up not getting deployed. And from that point on, I want to say from 2009, from that point on, I really just wanted to dedicate as much of my time and efforts as I could to helping out those who were able to go over and serve or who were still serving their country in some way. So, I tell people all the time, I've worn the uniform a few different times, but I never really got to do anything. So I just say I'm an advocate.
Well, you're doing some stuff now. And was there after you came back, was there a weekly weigh-in for you, Doc?
Oh my God.
No.
There was a wait in for me at the local McDonald's and Burger King. They were waiting for me to come in. And
they closed up shop, man.
That's right. That's
I was a fan favorite somewhere, So.
Doc, listen, man, you're a great guy. Thank you for being on, and thanks for the information about what you guys are doing. What a fantastic company.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks so much, folks,
Unbelievable.
for you taking the time to talk to us. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we'll talk to you again sometime soon because we need to get the word out about Northrop.
Absolutely. Take care, brother.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, brothers. You guys have a great one.
We'll be right back in the National Defense right after this word from Farmers Insurance. When you're dealing with life's ups and downs, it helps to know the ins and outs of insurance. Farmers Insurance has been sharing practical insurance knowledge for more than 89 years. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Find an agent at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
How do you thank the millions of men and women who have fought so bravely for our country over the years? At the Home Depot, we think it takes more than words. We believe the best way to show gratitude is to do gratitude. The Home Depot Foundation is committed to veterans and their families, improving their homes and their lives. Since 2011, we've invested $160 million to veteran causes and impacted over 26,000 veteran homes. By 2020, we'll grow that investment to $250 million. From simple wheelchair ramps to complete home makeovers, transitional housing, community support, we consider it a duty and a privilege to serve senior, wounded, and homeless veterans the best ways we know how. After all they've given us, it's the least we could do. $250 million by 2020. Doing more for veterans. Doing gratitude. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing.
Home is not just something you can see or touch. Home is a feeling. It's the place where you feel safe to have those little moments that mean everything. At ADT, we believe that feeling should always be there. Whether it's at your house or your business, we help keep you safe so you can have those moments that make you feel at home. Wherever you are.
All right, welcome to F-150 Radio. Today, the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Why? Eugene, go.
I think because Ford engineers always add new stuff, so the competition can't catch up.
Whoa, Eugene sounds like an expert.
Well, I got a store that sells exclusively bar-raising merchandise, like a calendar with an extra month.
An extra month?
Extrebuary. It has 32 days.
So you can appreciate the new 2018 F-150 raising the bar with available Bliss with trailer coverage. It monitors your trucks and your trailer's blind spots.
How about our new bar-raising poker chips? You can play with them or eat them. So,
The new 2018 F-150 raises the bar with auto start-stop, standard on all engines, and an available 10-speed transmission.
We have sandals with available built-in socks.
And we are out of time.
Huge in Oregon.
This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
Driver assist features like Bliss are supplemental and do not replace the driver's attention, judgment, and the need to control the vehicle.
Did you know WD-40 Company offers more than just a blue and yellow can? There's a line of high-performance WD-40 brand products developed for professionals that include degreasers, penetrants, and greases. The WD-40 Specialist Greases line includes a multi-purpose grease, a high-temperature grease, an extreme pressure grease, and a marine-grade water-resistant grease. The products are interchangeable with each other so they won't cause cross-contamination issues that compromise performance and effectiveness. Pick up a can at Home Depot and learn more about these and other WD-40 brand products at WD-40Specialist.com.
This is the National Defense.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller. It's time now for another Eye Insights with VSP Vision. And Dr. James Winnick joins us once again this week. Dr. Winnick, I guess we're going to talk about progressive lenses now, huh?
Yeah, progressive lenses are probably one of the most common types of glasses that we use once we hit that magic age of around 40 and start needing help with reading small print.
This is something I know a lot about because I've got my very first set of progressive lens. So let me just ask you, what exactly are these?
So a lot of people refer to progressives kind of as a no-line bifocal.
Right.
And I think we all have that vision of mom and dad's line bifocal, and they're looking through the top, and then they got that little section in the bottom.
Right.
But progressives are really so much more than that. The way I describe it to patients, mom and dad's bifocals were like a click telescope. You had your low power on the top, and you had your high power on the bottom.
You're right.
And a progressive is more like a zoom telescope. So you start with your distance prescription on the top, and then as you look down through the lens, it gradually gives you the additional power you need for not only up close, but especially in this day and age, the mid-range for like our computers and our countertops and things like that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of a trick, isn't it, to learn how to get your brain to adjust to that. What are some of the pros and cons of wearing these progressive lenses?
Well, the advantage, like I said, is a line bifocal or even a trifocal doesn't really give us all the different ranges we need. So we end up with kind of a dead zone in the middle at arm's length that we can't work with. And the progressives address that because they do give you that gradual shift in the power. But you do have to learn how to use them, especially if you've never worn a multifocal. A single vision lens, you can look anywhere in the lens and it all looks the same. But with a progressive, you do have to, what I tell my people is point your nose at what you want to look at and then look up and down through the lens to get the power you need for the distance you're trying to see it at.
And it's kind of, you're a horseback rider, and I have horses, and it's kind of the same principle in terms of guiding your horse. You look where you want to go instead of your head on a swivel, don't you?
Exactly. You gotta move to where you want to see. You can't try to look at it on the side.
So do progressive lens work with real high prescriptions?
Yeah, there's not really any limit on prescriptions. When you start getting into higher prescriptions, it doesn't have as much to do with the design of the progressive as it does with picking the right material. So with higher prescriptions, you want to start looking at thinner and lighter materials so you don't end up with that Coke bottle pair of glasses.
Right, yeah. And so you told us a couple of tricks. Anything else that you could help me with mine? It's really, it takes a little while to get used to them.
Probably the biggest thing is work with a doctor's office or an optical shop and an optician that's going to take the time to make the proper frame selection. The frame has to fit your face.
Yep.
They have to take the measurements properly. They should be talking to you about how you're trying to use your glasses so they can get them set up properly for you. It's going to potentially take some time for you to figure out where to look, but if you're having trouble, go back and talk to the people that prescribed them. Right. Because the vast majority of the time, the patient thinks the prescription is wrong, but it's really more how the glasses are set up. So work with your practitioner to make it work for you.
Hey, Dr. Winnick, thank you for sharing that with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, Randy, this is great news. VSP is currently a vision carrier for hundreds of thousands of patients through the Federal Dental and Vision Insurance Program, which most people know as the FedVIP program. They're now going to be offering vision care for military families and retirees, and you're going to be able to enroll in vision care coverage during the open season, which is November 12th through December 10th of 2018. And that'll give you and your family coverage beginning in January of 2019. And you can get more information about that if you visit choosevsp.com.
choosevsp.com. Dr. Winnick, thank you very much. We'll be back next week with the brand new episode of Eye Insights with VSP Vision right here in the National Defense.
Welcome to F-150 Radio, the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Dean, go.
I'm all about lowering the bar, like I only brush my teeth on Monday.
The new Ford F-150 lineup raises the bar by being number one in towing, payload, and torque. It can make you more capable.
Capable schmapable.
The new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
When properly configured, classes full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVW are based on Ford segmentation.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, buy Spectracide Bug Stop with AccuShot Sprayer and get a free refill. Great news for you, bad news for bugs. Bug Stop kills bugs on contact, indoors and out, and can even protect your home for up to a year. And a free refill is even more of a good thing. Unless you're a bug. Get a free refill with purchase of Spectracide Bug Stop with AccuShot Sprayer. Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Limit 2 per customer. Selection varies by store and store only.